Jeremiah, in writing the lament, he's doing a personification for the people of Jerusalem. In other words, he's representing them. He's talking in the first person, but he's talking for the whole of the people of Jerusalem and Judea. And in his talking, I'll point out to you as we read it, he talks about God, but he never mentions the word God or the word Yahweh in the beginning verses because it sort of speaks to the abandonment that they're now feeling. He uses pronouns instead. They feel that they're left out and they're abandoned. They're no longer in the presence of God. And indeed they are not, because of their horrendous sin, a lifetime of sin. In chapter 3, verse 1, I am the man who has seen affliction because of the rod of his wrath. He has driven me and made me walk in darkness and not in light. He talking about God, and I is talking about Jerusalem. Surely against me he has turned his hand repeatedly all the day. He has caused my flesh and my skin to waste away. He has broken my bones, the description of an aging person, not necessarily because they were old, just because of the burden and the suffering that was upon them. He has besieged and encompassed me with bitterness and hardship. In the dark places, he has made me to dwell like those who have long been dead. It's like I'm in a grave, rotting. He has walled me in so that I cannot get out. He has made my chain heavy. There is no way out of the plight that they were in. As a matter of fact, it was their destiny for the rest of their days. And it was not only their destiny, it was the destiny of their children. For 70 years they would be that exile. And there was no way out. They were chained to it. They were walled in. There was no way to go. Even when I cry out and call for help, he shuts out my prayer. He told them over and over and over that's what would happen. And that's what was happening. They had no more connection with Yahweh. You talk about mourning and suffering. He has blocked my ways with huge stones, and has made my paths crooked. Big, gigantic stones are in the way so that he couldn't pass by. Their paths are crooked, like being in a maze. They can't get out. They can't escape. It's like a nightmare. He is to me like a bear lying in wait, like a lion in his secret places. He has turned aside my ways and torn me to pieces. He has made me desolate. He bent his bow and sent me as a target for the arrows. He made the arrows of his quiver to enter into my inward parts. All of these things, they're metaphors to explain the horrific suffering and pain that these people were, the mourning that they were in, the lament. I have become a laughingstock to all people. Their mocking songs all the day long. He has filled me with bitterness. He has made me drunk with wormwood. Wormwood is bitterness. There's nothing to do with worm or wood. It's bitterness. He has broken my teeth with a gavel. He was at the dentist with me yesterday. He has made me cower in the dust. My soul has been rejected from peace. I have forgotten happiness. So I say, my strength has perished, and so has my hope from Yahweh. Now look at this. Nothing changes. The circumstances do not change what I'm about to read to you. None of the circumstances have changed. What has changed is the man's mind. Watch what happens. Remember my affliction, my wandering, my wormwood, and my bitterness. Verse 20, surely my soul remembers and is bowed down with me. This I recall to mind, therefore I have hope. Now, the first time God's name is mentioned in this chapter. Yahweh's loving kindnesses indeed never cease, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. Everything's gone, but Yahweh's still there. Yahweh is my portion, says my soul. Therefore, I have hope in him. Yahweh is my portion. They cannot take Yahweh away from me. Yahweh is my portion. In my suffering, Yahweh is my portion. Not silver, not gold, not prestige, not strength, not acceptance, not popularity. Yahweh is my portion. I get God. What my portion in life is Yahweh. He changed his focus from the suffering and put it on the God of compassion. Yahweh is my portion, says my soul. Therefore I have hope in him. Yahweh is good to those who wait for him, to the person who seeks him. It is good that he waits silently for the salvation of Yahweh. It is good that he waits silently for the salvation of Yahweh. After describing the utter devastation and suffering that they were in, he said, you know, it makes no sense to be complaining and to griping and to all the rest of it. It is good that he waits silently for the salvation of Yahweh. And in our waiting for that salvation, we still have Yahweh as our portion. This is how you endure in suffering.